What is up, everyone? Welcome back to GrayDays TV, and today I'm going to be talking about the death of Sharee Bradley and the kidnapping and presumed death of her daughter, Nevaeh Adams.
Again today with a developing story out of Sumter. The search continues for a missing 5-year-old girl. This missing girl's name is Nevaeh Adams, and she hasn't been seen since last night.
So on Monday, August 5th, Sharee Bradley's 12-year-old son walked into the Lantana Apartments leasing office and told the people in there that he found his mother on the ground in the living room, unresponsive and not breathing. Law enforcement was quickly notified, and at approximately 6:10 p.m., Sumter police arrived at the apartment and discovered Sharee Bradley deceased and wrapped in a rug. An autopsy later determined that Sharee Bradley died from multiple stab wounds and that she had been deceased for around 10 to 14 hours before police arrived on the scene. The responding officer, upon finding the body, immediately began setting up a crime scene and called in other officers. And later, an officer at the rear of the apartment was given a description of a man who was a known acquaintance of Sharee Bradley and frequented her residence. That information was then broadcast to other officers, who were told to look out for a man who matched that description. And when officers located the man, later identified as Donte Johnson, he initially tried to flee from police, but he was later caught along with another man. Although the other man that he was apprehended with was never seen as being involved in the murder of Sharee Bradley and sequentially let go. Donte Johnson, on the other hand, after a brief discussion with officers on the scene, was arrested and taken to the Sumter Police Department for further investigation. So as all this was going on, there were still police at the crime scene. And the police at the crime scene later discovered that Sharee Bradley had 3 children. A 12-year-old named CJ, a 5-year-old named Nevaeh, and a 3-year-old named Carter. Her oldest son CJ was first to be found because he was at the Lantana Apartments. And he told police that his 5-year-old sister Nevaeh was missing. So the search for her and Carter immediately began. And they were actually pretty quickly able to find out that Carter was with his biological father. So now the only child that they were looking for was Nevaeh. So the police went to the home of Nevaeh's biological father to see if she was there. But upon arrival, they found out that Nevaeh wasn't with him and that he had no idea where Nevaeh would be if she wasn't with her mother. Meanwhile, at the scene of the crime, K-9 units were being used to find more evidence, and officers were conducting door-to-door canvasses of the neighboring apartments and the vacant buildings near that area. And police also searched all the trash cans and dumpsters around that area. Sometime after that, the police provided a document to the media describing the situation that had taken place and announced Nevaeh was missing along with her description on social media. But the police did not issue an Amber Alert for Nevaeh, which her family was and is still very angry about.
Members of the community continue to maintain and hope that Nevaeh is still alive. Her father was among those who were pushing for law enforcement to issue an Amber Alert in the child's disappearance.
Although the Sumter police have stated that Nevaeh did not meet the criteria for one, pointing to a lack of abductor and method of abduction such as vehicle description for not meeting commonly followed federal and state criteria for one. And that's something that I didn't know and that her family probably didn't know at the time, is that you have to have specific criteria to qualify for an Amber Alert. And now that I think about it, for the most part, every time I've seen an Amber Alert, it always lists a vehicle. So if she wasn't taken in a vehicle, or if they already caught the person who they thought abducted her, why would they issue an Amber Alert? It makes sense that why they didn't do it, but I understand why her parents and her family felt like they should have. It was also around this time when Donte Johnson confessed to killing Sharee Bradley and Nevaeh Adams, and he also told police how he killed Sharee Bradley. Donte Johnson also admitted to killing Nevaeh the exact same way, in that after he killed her, he placed her body in a dumpster near their apartment. So once police became aware of how Nevaeh's body was disposed of, they immediately secured the landfill where they believed Nevaeh's body would have ended up. Sumter police also contacted the Foothill Search and Rescue Team, who supplied cadaver dogs to help them search for Nevaeh. The cadaver team was then taken to the landfill where they searched with police for Nevaeh's body. The police also seized all the garbage trucks of the landfill and emptied them out one by one in designated areas and searched through them by hand. All 230 tons of garbage that was in that landfill, but they were not able to find Nevaeh. But Sumter police do believe that there may have been 1 or 2 trucks that picked up trash in the Lantana Apartments area and took them to a separate location. So they're currently trying to figure out exactly how that happened and figure out where exactly all that trash was taken. They also contacted the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children to help with the search efforts for Nevaeh, and entered her information in the National Missing and Unidentified Persons database. But even though they haven't been able to find the body, with all the evidence they have gathered and with the confession of Daunte Johnson, Sumter police do believe that Nevaeh Adams was killed the same day as her mother on August 5th. And like I mentioned earlier, based on Daunte Johnson's confession, he killed Nevaeh Adams the exact same way he killed Sharee Bradley.
An update tonight in the case of Nevaeh Adams. She's the 5-year-old Sumter girl who went missing back on August 5th.
Today, 29-year-old Daunte Johnson was charged with murder in connection with the child's death.
Based on the statement that Mr. Johnson provided us, and again, based on the evidence we gathered and based on the analysts and the analyzation and the results of our evidence, we today charged Mr. Johnson with the murder of Sharee Bradley.
So on August 25th, Sumter police officially announced that they were charging Daunte Johnson with the murder of Sharee Bradley and Nevaeh Adams. They also announced that they're charging him with 2 counts of possession of a weapon during a violent crime and possession of a stolen vehicle that they believe belonged to a homicide victim in Missouri. Now, although that wraps up the investigation aspect of this case and they're actually getting ready to go to trial, like I mentioned, the Sumter police have promised that they will continue to search for Nevaeh Adams' body, but Nevaeh Adams' family have maintained that they believe she is still alive.
I don't believe our granddaughter is dead. I believe that she's alive somewhere and God's going to bring her back to us. So I'm asking right here now on national TV that we all pray and ask God to bring her back to us, because it's just going to be hard living without her. She's a wonderful, wonderful girl.
There's nothing more precious that God's ever created than children. We ask those who are watching, any information that you may have, please call us at 803-436-2700. and provide that information.
They also believe that the Sumter police did not do their due diligence throughout the investigation and that they do not have enough evidence to conclude that Nevaeh Adams is actually dead.
My name is Dupree Adams, the father of Nevaeh Adams. When it comes to this investigation, the situation, you know, I'm still not happy. I'm still not happy even with what they said, with the forensic testing and all that kind of stuff. I'm still not happy. I'm still not satisfied because I still don't have a baby. I still don't have my daughter. And so therefore, how am I supposed to lay her to rest with just forensics if you're not able to find a body? I feel like that the search out there in the landfill was not conducted the right way, because I feel like if she was there, she would have been found. I'm just letting the community know that the search still continues. We're not going to stop searching no matter what they say. Right. I believe that what they're saying is just something to kind of throw everything off, but I'm still going to search for my daughter. We're still going to search for my daughter. So I'm letting the community know that we're not going to stop the search, and don't you all stop the search. You know, don't stop putting it out there that my baby needs to be found.
So looking at the news stories and the news articles, it's pretty clear that the family and the police are not seeing eye to eye throughout this investigation. The family believe that there are some leads that the police just didn't pursue and that they basically gave up on ever finding Malia. Now, I understand that they are emotional. They lost their daughter. Some lost their granddaughter. Some lost their niece and things of that nature. But from what I've read, and of course, these were statements that came directly from Sumter police, so you can take that with a grain of salt. I believe they've done a pretty decent job throughout the investigation. But like I said, they're going to be emotional. They lost a little girl who they believe is still alive and that police aren't looking for correctly. So it makes sense why they feel this way and why they're acting this way. Me personally, from the information that I've read, I don't really see why Daunte Johnson would lie and say he killed Nevaeh if he didn't do it. There's no upside to him saying he killed her. It's not going to lessen his sentence. It's not going to get him treated any better in prison or anything. So why would he lie and say, oh, I killed her? If you're him, wouldn't you leverage the fact that she's still alive to get your sentence lessened in some way? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. But for me, I believe him. If he confessed to killing both of them, I believe that he killed both of them. Unless she was legit just kidnapped and taken somewhere else, there's no way she could live on her own at this point. So So for me, I do believe that it's more likely that they're going to find her body and not her alive. But there's always hope in situations like this. Until you do find the body, you can always believe that there's still a chance that she is still alive. So I understand why the family feels this way. And miracles do happen. Hopefully she is found alive. But that's all I really have to say about this case. This case was actually a suggestion from someone in the comments, so thank you for suggesting this. It's crazy because I live in South Carolina. I actually kind of heard about this in passing, but I never really looked into it too much until I read your comments, so thank you for that. But let me know what you guys think about this, and if you guys think that maybe Nevaeh Adams is still alive. Do you think the police did a good job, or do you agree with the family that maybe they looked over some things to kind of quicken this case up? But let me know what you guys think. And if you have any suggestions for cases I should look into, please don't be afraid to leave comments. I'll definitely do it. When it comes to making these videos, I kind of get lost in all the cases that are around in this world. There's so many cases to look into, and I have like a million tabs open of 15 different cases and all the information I can find on them. So when I get suggestions and I can sort of narrow it down to one specific thing and just look into it, it makes my hobby a lot easier. So please don't be afraid to leave comments. I'll definitely look into anything you want me to. But that is going to be the end of this video. So make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't, comment, do all that great stuff. And continue to have a great day, great week, great month, great year. And I will catch you all next video.